Hey, Josh. I'm just full of energy and buzz and caffeine. I don't know if it's the 74 Red Bulls I just railed or your Dormann that asked me 74 increasingly interesting questions, but it took me 37 minutes and 42 seconds to get a parking pass, but I'm here, and I'm excited.
Hello everyone, welcome to episode, we don't even know what number this is, but by me not pressing record after the first time, Dallas is already on hot take number 1. He bottled it in, who knew that I was going to be the one who set him off, but welcome, we have 2 awesome guests for this week. Dallas had to jump through some hoops to get in, where I wasn't sure I lived in the best neighborhood, but now I feel safe.
I'm glad that you're in your safe space, Josh. As a millennial, as the token millennial, it's nice to know that you're in your safe space.
We've produced at least 20 episodes. That means you've been coming here for 20 weeks in a row, and yet you still have to jump through hoops to get in the building. So, I'm just excited. You're fired up. I'm feeling safe.
I am. The sign with my face on it says, "Do not let me in." Probably doesn't help my case, but I made it in again.
Anywho, we have 2 awesome guests this week. They share similar resumes where both of them played for the Ottawa Mavericks Volleyball Club.
High performance Ottawa Mavericks.
There you go. We'll figure out which name they were. If they were the Blackjacks or I don't know, there's Mustangs.
The Jack Blacks?
Ooh, could be. They both played at the University of Toronto. And
only one name with the University of Toronto.
Varsity Blues.
Varsity who?
And have both played in the One Volleyball League where they can both claim a championship. I know it's only a 14 league, but it's still a really hard league to win every year.
Yeah, that's only a 25% chance of winning.
It's harder than you think, Dal. Have you won one?
Haven't even played in one.
The team I was with, we were dead last in the regular season, and then we had 2 swings to win the final. So it shows how, really competitive the league is, or the regular season doesn't matter until money's on the line.
Yeah.
Anyways, and also, we're going to talk about FISU Games, because one of them was just there in, Italy.
Yeah.
It was in Italy this year. We spent some time in Vancouver with the women's national team. So let's welcome to the show, Sophia Currier and Alina Dormann. Welcome to the show, guys. Sorry for the double take there, but we did get Dallas to boil over, so maybe it was worth it. Good, so let's get into it. I guess what's most recent. So, Alina, you just returned from FISU Games, and you both played in the One Volleyball League. So, basically, how's your off-season from U of T going so far?
It's been pretty busy. I know we sort of kicked things off with the One Volleyball League with the showcase, and then you get drafted for that. U of T plays beach every day, so Alina plays that. I work. Gotta make the money. Gotta make the money.
Beach every day.
But
it's
don't
poo-poo that. That was my real job for years.
No, I'm loving it.
Right?
Yeah.
Way better than indoor.
I agree.
See? Hot take
Am I
number
allowed
1.
to say that? Anyways.
So let's add to that. Some listeners might not know that U of T, being a varsity program, does have a beach program. So why don't you get into what it's like working with Adriana, how many people are in your group, how you figure out training times, all that good stuff.
Sure. So Adriana, who coaches with the national team, runs all of our practice pretty much when she's around. Sometimes she's away, obviously, Pan Am games and stuff, I guess, takes priority. So she's away sometimes, but when she's around, we're on the beach with her every day. And then it's like any U of T girls who want to try playing beach, and then there's just some other people who are like coming into town and need beach training can come with us. So it's like a pretty high-level group, and it's a ton of fun. Obviously, Adriana's awesome.
A ton of fun.
It is so fun.
Yeah.
And then, we're just on the beach every day, which you can't really complain about that. So, definitely a good way to spend the off-season.
Good. I think U of T's produced Heather Vansley, they can take credit for, Olympian. Christina Valius, Olympian. There's got to be more.
Charlotte.
Who's represented Canada, Viv Chan, Diane Burrows. There's a whole bunch.
Denise Wooden.
Yeah, there's a lot of players coming through.
Kaylee Cruikshank.
Oh, man.
Tessa Davis.
Don't stop now.
Andy Koss. Austin Valius. Friend of the show, Michael Denton, just for shits and giggles.
I don't think they take credit for the men's side, because then we got to talk about like Vince Stock and everybody else. Christian Redmond was technically a U of T guy for...
I never heard of any of those people.
Yeah.
Who are they?
But pretty interesting that a competitive indoor program does kind of have an entry point for beach and the players it's produced. And sounds like a fun environment too, right?
Yes, I love it. It's so much fun.
I like Adriana's coaching style. I think because there's a bit of a language barrier there. There's no muff. There's right in there.
No, it's exactly what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, and she came with me to FISU event in Poland, and the one coaching thing that she told me, and she looked at me dead in the face, and she goes, "You big, you hit." So hit. That was it.
That's
So-
exactly what our Italian coach Vincenzo tells me. He goes, Alina, you're a right side. It's easy. Hit the ball hard.
Right? Apparently, you don't need to speak very good English to be an
No.
extremely good coach.
Yeah, exactly.
Leonard accused me of that once. I tried to sugarcoat something. He's like, no, don't go all Canadian here.
Yeah,
Just say
exactly.
what you're saying here.
Just mean what you say and say what you mean.
No nice touch.
No, oh, that was my favorite. I don't know if she's ever pulled this to you, but I guess in Brazil, they don't say, like, nice touch. Like, if you hit a roll shot and you run it down and, like, you touch it, but you shank it and don't dig it, like, Canadians will be like, oh, nice touch. And I think I said that to someone in a practice match, and she turned to me and she goes, hey, no nice touch.
Yeah, I can see that for sure.
It's like, whoa, okay, cutthroat, Adrian.
Yeah, she's wild.
She always says exactly what you need to
Yeah.
hear.
She's
Right.
making me be a runner. Alina, Usain Bolt. Be Usain Bolt because I have to chase balls on defense. That's all I get this summer. So
And does she
Getting
work
there.
with the indoor team as well? Or is she mostly just
not
kind of the
really.
lead in the
she
summer?
helps teach our academies to younger athletes because her daughter comes to them.
Okay.
So, but not really our team during the year because now she has her own head coaching job.
Yeah,
Right,
she's
she's
with
Centennial.
Centennial.
Yeah. So she's pretty busy.
Good. So we'll circle back to UT later in the show because that kind of leads into preseason. But I did want to cover One Volleyball, kind of what you guys thought of the level or that experience being returning varsity athletes. Does that league really help you in the summer, kind of keep sharp and play against? I guess there's current professionals in the One Volleyball league, right? So the level's got to be good.
Yeah, honestly, I played last year in it, and I think it improved my passing a lot. The serves were just at that next level, like from varsity. The girls, it was a faster speed than what I was used to. It was nice to sort of get thrown in there, and I was second year varsity athlete last year, and it really boosted my confidence to know I could play with these girls who have continued to the next level. So it was a ton of fun. They really liked to celebrate and just kind of keep it light out there. It was a serious competitive game, but we did like to make some jokes and have some fun with the other teams because you know all the girls. So it was good.
Yeah,
really
it's
enjoyed
fun
this
that it's
year.
like a high level, but it's still like everyone's just trying to play volleyball and have fun. Like it's not too serious at all. And then I like being the youngest one on the team again, like going into my 5th year. I'm so old now, but I was like a little baby on this team, so it was so much fun. I was a little Energizer bunny. So yeah, that was fun. I had no idea like what the level was going to be. So the fact that it was like pretty high up there was really nice.
So you've played a bunch of international events. How does that compare to like what you've seen at Junior World Championships, FISU? Like where does One Volleyball sort of rank in comparison to those events? Obviously training with the women's team too in Richmond.
I would say like the athleticism is there. It's a bit below in terms of like all those teams we trained together for a long time. We have systems. We know where to go on defense. It's a little bit like crisper in terms of like where you're putting your free balls in your defense and
Right.
stuff. So in terms of that, I would say it's a little bit lower. But all the players that are playing in this league have been able to do that in the past. It's
Right.
now just like a bit more for fun and a bit more relaxed and a bit less on the line. So
That's a good way to put it, a bit less on the line.
yeah.
Until there's money on the line, that's some people really
yeah,
fired
true,
up.
there is, yeah.
Because you were on the team who got to go to Calgary, right?
Edmonton,
Edmonton.
but
Excuse
yeah.
me. Sorry. The
Weren't
league is in Calgary. The
Yeah, no,
finals
it's
was in
very
Edmonton.
confusing. People-
Sorry, Dal.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And where were you last year?
People
I
were
was
like,
out west somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm so excited to go to Calgary. It'll be so fun. I was like, you don't even know where we're going.
Quick
Now that
turnaround
I've been to
time.
Edmonton, I would gladly take Calgary. I'm sorry. The weather there was terrible.
Not best.
I don't know.
There was
Edmonton,
hail, okay?
Edmonton is like Miami Beach compared to Winnipeg, and there's hot take number 2.
You Winnipeg, you lose a peg.
Yeah,
Oh,
Winnipeg.
Winnipeg.
Gross.
Yeah, we used to go there every preseason. And I would be sad we didn't have
Like
our
for a
partners
punishment?
yet. Yeah, whip us into shape.
Yeah.
Anyways, back to Edmonton. What
Yes.
was the atmosphere there? Because you guys got to be there during the FIB 3-star.
Yes.
There was just a ton of volleyball stuff going on. What was the atmosphere actually in the gym for your championship final?
For our games, it was pretty good. There's basically a full crowd, which I was not expecting at all, considering neither of the leagues was played in that city. So that was kind of cool. The Calgary team had like so many fans come out because they were like tropical themed. So they had like people in like beach hats and pool noodles. It was so fun. So that was pretty cool. And then like the men's team, like our men's team came and supported us. So that was a lot of fun. And yeah, I was pretty impressed by the whole organization of it. And then the fact that it was at the same time as the beach tournament was super cool. Because that was like a lot of fun once we were done playing to just be out in the sun cheering on Canadians who were doing super well. So it was definitely nice to have that all together.
Nice. And was there any players you guys were impressed with that you got to see like every week, whether it was somebody on your team or an opponent that you're like, wow, I've never heard of this person before, but they are very good?
My setter was amazing, Sam Ainsworth. She's getting married next week, actually, so that's pretty exciting. But yeah, she was like so good. I had like never knew her. I guess she's a bit older than me, but she was amazing, so that was super fun. But yeah, my whole team was really, really good. I don't know. We had such a good time, so I don't know. I love them.
A girl on my team, she just moved here from the States. She played at Marquette, Julie Jezrowski. Her and her husband moved here to start the Sweet Oven Bakery. It's a butter tart bakery in the beaches.
Whoa,
we gotta check this out.
Yeah, for sure we have to check this out.
Yeah.
We're giving them advertisement.
Yeah, she was really good libero. I definitely learned a lot from her playing with her. We sort of split part of the time, so yeah, it was good. And she brought us treats, always welcome.
It's a good way to make friends.
I'm thinking about this bakery now. But One Volleyball apparently produces nothing but humble people, because we had Jackie and Joe on here last week or last month, or whatever we want to release these episodes.
Yeah, I was like, she's getting married next week.
Yeah, it could be whenever. And we asked Jackie and Joe who their favorite players were, and they both didn't say themselves, and you both didn't say yourselves. So I guess, I don't know. Who's your favorite player? I mean, I'm the best, so yeah, it'd probably be me.
I don't even think Eric Matson said himself. Or did we ask him the one volleyball
I don't
question?
think so, but we should have. Nobody wants to take the hot take, the Jackie Moon, and say, well, basically, I'm the best. So I'm the whole reason this league exists. You know, it's disappointing, really.
Before we move on from One Volleyball, so if I have to know, what was it like playing for the legend John May? There's got to be some witty one-liners, or when he talked about it being competitive and fun, I feel like he's the one who's figured out the balance there, right?
Yeah, so I played for him last year as well. This year, he actually was trying to find a different head coach, so Christina stepped in for one of the games when he was in Edmonton to do the volleyball entourage thing. Yeah, he definitely has a good sense of humor, likes to slide into jokes. He thinks sort of you're too serious, and then just have fun, and he really gives you some confidence out there as well. Yeah, nothing comes to mind.
Is there a different John May that I'm unaware of?
Well, you played with Garrett, so why don't you share your version of John May?
Oh my God, I have never been laid into the way that I have been laid into when John May was coaching me. Garrett and I had just won a provincial championship and then lost a practice match the next day, and I think he yelled at us in that playground at Ashbridges Bay for almost an hour.
No.
And I don't think I have been yelled at by a parent, a teacher,
Wow.
anybody the way he peeled into us for losing a third set practice match. This was like a week before we went to Worlds, but that really sets in there. I guess he's laying down the standard, but...
Who did you lose to?
Friend of the show, Aaron Nussbaum.
So he gets to walk around and be like, yeah, John went off on you because of me.
Yeah, so we had beaten them 2 straight in the provincial finals, and then we had lost to... I forget who he was playing with at the time. It might have even been Plantinga. But we lost to them in a practice match in 3, and John was like, this is absolutely ridiculous. You guys can't even be consistent when you're playing. Like, you know, you're a week out from World Championship. You can't win, like, an effing practice match. And I'm thinking, oh, my God. And, like, I don't know if you've had, like, a John May conversation, but he looks, like, pinned at you, and he will let you know.
Oh, geez. Totally
different vibes.
But I guess the John May you know is a little bit different.
Yeah,
It's the One Volleyball.
Yeah, I got a little soft when he had a couple
Yeah,
kids.
it's just a relief.
I don't know. He would say to you, like, I don't know, you're playing terrible right now. I know you can do so much better. You guys are incredible. And then just walk
That's
away.
pretty
That's kind of
nice.
it. So that was his word of advice.
He didn't dig
You
you out of
can
the
do it,
hole,
you're
though. He
great.
just threw you in the hole.
I wish he would have
You
told
didn't
me
get
I
the
was
incredible part.
No, I was definitely not incredible. Incredibly terrible, maybe.
Good. I'm glad we can get both sides there.
Hey, I'd love to have John on the show to recall that laying into as well.
Sometimes, like, somehow he's going to twist it into being your fault, though. You know it's somehow going to come off and like, you're right, John, I was wrong. I was wrong there.
Probably should have sided out, John.
Good. Well, thank you for covering the One Volleyball part. I do want to cover the Ottawa Mavericks thing. So, friend of the show, Frank St. Denis, he shares whenever I'm very specific what I want, but he doesn't give away secrets very much. I feel like that's the Ottawa Mavericks way, where they know they have a good thing going, but they're not exactly advertising and telling everybody how they do it. So now that we have 2 guests here, we can get to some secrets here. So why don't you explain what Ottawa Mavericks is doing as far as a high performance standpoint, because it's not just something they put on their website or a T-shirt. They're doing it. You guys had access to mental training, you had strength and conditioning, you had, I don't know, you take it from there. You had way more stuff. So tell about, when did you start playing volleyball in the Mavericks program, and kind of walk us through kind of the process all the way to 18U.
Yeah, so I started when I was in grade 6. I started a year before Alina, actually. When she started in 14U, I started in 13U. I was a year younger.
Did we play on the same team my first year?
Yeah.
On the B team.
Yeah,
We've
we
come a
played
long
on the
way.
B team. We've come a long way together. Yeah, it was good. So definitely the program's changed since then, though. Back then, we were one. I'm gonna claim this. We were one of the first HP sort of teams, I think. They sort of started strength and conditioning, the mental training a little bit, some nutrition stuff. But honestly, since then, like 6-7 years ago, it's really come a long way. They have a really great gym that they work out with now consistently, Capital Strength.
Yeah, and they really emphasized long-term development. Like, we were not good in 14U. Like, we were not allowed to volley balls over the net if the set wasn't there. Like, we had to try and hit them as hard as we could, and that later taught us how to fix sets and still be aggressive. But back then we were just wailing away. But obviously it paid off. There's so many players that have come from the club and have done pretty well. So I think that was kind of interesting that we were not super successful when we were younger because they were focused so much on everyone being able to pass and everyone being able to play defense and all sorts of things like that. And then as we got older, we moved our way up Premier and started winning. And then it's really that long-term athlete development thing that they talk about. So that's kind of cool.
I think friend of the show, Jory Mantha, might have been the pilot program of that, where I think they started it. Frank maybe started with them around 16U all the way to 18U, and then I think you guys would have gone through your whole pathway with this.
We were the guinea pigs. I remember our 15U year, they took 30 girls. We had 3 teams, and we switched teams every OVA tournament. So you were found out your Wednesday before the tournament who you were playing with that week, and it was almost being drafted. Sometimes they would put the top girls on the lower team to so that they would win the Trillium and move them up to championship, or it was just crazy. We were all over the place.
So what did parents and athletes think of that with all the lateral moves, where you could have easily made an A team in September or October and that's your team, right? But you guys did shuffle the deck right up until, I think the OVA is a deadline of February. You have to have your rosters
I think we had
locked,
one tournament together and then provincials.
So are parents pretty open to this idea that the B team is going to be pretty good here, or do they want everybody to be on the A team and be competitive like other sports? I don't think you'd see this model in say hockey or soccer, right?
I think,
or even other sports like volleyball.
I think our parents were pretty chill. I think they were fine with it, or at least mine were. My parents are volleyball is so fun. I love volleyball. When volleyball's not fun anymore, you can stop. They're super relaxed about it. So I don't know.
I think since there's only 6 kids on the court, I think it gives everyone a good opportunity to sort of mix around. You don't want girls who have so much talent just sitting on the bench all the time. It's good to get a mix in there and work with new players. It's such a young age. You might as well get new coaches, new teammates, learn. Honestly, it's about volleyball, but also at that age, I think my parents were concerned with me learning life skills as well.
And I think our coaches were very good at communicating that. All the parents kind of knew on the same page, and none of our parents, I don't think, were super volleyball parents. It was the coaches and then the parents, and they just listened. So
I'm really going to put this explanation on loop, so whenever I have to explain to parents that I coach what the long-term development is for their kids in 12U and 14U, I'm going to have a tape recorder just play it back, because that was a really good answer. And sometimes I want to throw my clipboard at parents because they want to know why their kid isn't starting, and I have to turn around to them and say, it's 13U Division 5. It doesn't matter who's in.
No, it really
it doesn't matter.
Yeah, your gold medals will sit in the back of your closet
or in a shoebox somewhere.
Yeah,
so
doesn't matter. You won't remember if you don't get one either.
Yeah,
so.
exactly.
Well, I think being from Ottawa, though, it's important to have a system that gets kids playing time, right? Speaking of Jackson Dunning, I don't think he got to play more than 5 tournaments his whole OVA career where he slept in his own bed. I think he had a hotel stay. Could you guys guess how many times you were driving distance of your house versus having to stay in a hotel?
Maybe twice in my whole club
No,
career.
once me and my friend calculated how many hours we had spent on the 401 in our club volleyball careers. And it was, I forget the number, sadly. But it was crazy.
So I think that's something that
it was days.
They need to consider, right? Because if you're going to travel and get a hotel room, your child better be on the court at least for a few points. Like you
That's
can't
true.
drive all the way to London and not play points. Like that's just not fair to the family and to the kid.
Yeah.
Right?
I love Ottawa, but my least favorite drive ever is Toronto to Ottawa or Ottawa to Toronto, because it doesn't matter if you leave at Wednesday at midnight. Some idiot is on the 401 doing something stupid, and you're just parked, and it sucks, and I hate it.
And try doing that in February and every other time you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The number of nights we would like drive 2 hours, and my mom was like, I'm done. Like, we're staying in Kingston. Like, we're not even going to go all the way home.
So let's get into, like, you mentioned the extra stuff you did, but how often would you guys lift weights? You mentioned the gym they're with. Like, these are professional people. You're not just in, like, a high school weight room, right? Like, you guys are monitored. There's an actual process to the weightlifting, and it kind of changed, like, what a 14U was doing is not what an 18U was doing.
Yeah. So our years, we didn't have the separate gym yet. We would use the high school's gym that we were training at, but we had people who knew what they were doing, come in, actual strength and conditioning coaches. And then, yeah, we also did, like, FMS testing, like, functional movement a bit, like, which is, like, something that we're, like, only doing now at U of T is, like, mobility assessments and stuff. So to have started that at 14U is pretty crazy, I think.
In my 18U year, I think they partnered with Capital Strength, but I lived in Toronto for half the year, and I sort of commuted to Ottawa for practice, so I wasn't completely in that. Yeah, a bit of an odd situation. I actually played with Josh at George. Well, didn't play with him. He was the coach at George Brown, and I played with the men's team practice a little bit.
Soph made our twos team very competitive in practice. Actually, it was very helpful.
You elevated that the skill
training
level.
environment.
She would have started if she was eligible. She just wasn't, she didn't even go there, so we couldn't
Right,
start.
That's the first barrier you have to cross.
Doesn't attend the school, different gender. Yeah, it was really hard politically to get her to start, so we just couldn't pull that off. And then she left halfway through the year. So.
Semantics and red tape.
Oh, man.
The only thing I remember about Mavericks was they had sweet gear all the time. It was decked out in Mizuno, and high school Dallas was like a big Mizuno guy. So to see friend of the show Joey Mantha head to toe with like the Mizuno socks, which I thought was so badass, and like everything full kit, super jealous.
I think they're Nike now.
They are Nike, yeah.
they
The year after I left or something like that. But we fought so hard for our long sleeve jerseys, finally got them by our 18th year.
Wait a minute, okay, because
Yeah.
I played in long sleeves only out of necessity for cold weather, and like even then it was like I really have to be uncomfortable playing long sleeves. I hate playing in long sleeves. Why do you like playing in long sleeves?
You know when you like pass and you're wearing sleeves and it just sounds nicer?
No, I know when I pass and like I can feel like, oh, that's coming off my arms nice. I don't even have to look at the center. It's coming off nice.
No.
Oh, long sleeves.
You put them on, you're like 10% better at least.
God.
I think I'm about 1,000% worse.
I'm with you. I always roll mine up, and it's so bunchy.
Wait, are you pro sleeve or anti sleeve?
Anti-sleeve,
Okay,
yeah.
But at UT, you don't have sleeves, I don't think.
No, we just got new Under Armour.
Oh.
We switched sponsors.
Oh,
Yeah.
big things happening.
Big
All the
things.
sponsors are getting shouted out on this episode.
And yet nobody comes And a charity here now.
I'm waiting for that Under Armour money now.
Me and Alina did contact them this year. We have these terrible blue water bottles. So we've had them ever since, Powerade.
They're Powerade.
Powerade.
So we contacted
Powerade. They leak when you drink them, or if you put them in your backpack.
And they crack.
Yeah. On the bus, your backpack's like falling over. You have water in it, obviously, on the bus to drink. Your backpack's soaked. You put it on, oh my God, your whole back's soaked. The bottle leaked everywhere. It's terrible. So we tried to get new bottles.
We emailed Powerade.
No response.
Okay, so
a negative
wait a minute.
sponsorship.
I just want to hold the phone here for a second. The way that you guys are talking, it's like, oh, it's not really a big deal. It's like, yeah, we didn't like our stuff, so we just contacted the major sponsor and just said, hey, listen, I don't like what you're doing. You need to step your game up.
Yeah, we asked for some free bottles, like maybe some Powerades, and they could send those to us.
Tried to make a plan.
Yeah, but then I think they misunderstood. They did respond, and they said, like, if you're looking for sponsorship, like, we already sponsor a lot of people.
Listen, jerk. All I want is a functional water bottle, period.
For free.
Yeah.
Oh man, they didn't quite get it, but
It's okay.
You just don't get it, Powerade.
Good. So thanks for sharing some trade secrets for the Mavericks. Do you honestly feel like that helped prepare you for university? Like you were a step ahead of maybe some other clubs?
definitely. Having, like, been in the weight room before, that was huge, and, like, just knowing kind of what that's like. And then we were just, like, I don't want to say, like, more technically sound, but kind of we had, like, the importance of, like, not just, like, getting big kills, but, like, we focused so much on, like, defense and, like, putting free balls to the right spot and, like, setting high balls. So that was really beneficial, like, especially at U of T. We do that all the time with our Italian coaches. So that was kind of nice, I thought.
I think starting at that good foundation, we had Bruce Dunning as our coach. He was really technically sound.
He was
so
awesome.
that definitely helps if you have a good coach from the beginning to get you those basics before you try to go into some fancier stuff.
Did you play with any Mavericks alumni? I don't think at York we had a pipeline of the Mavericks very much, but at Guelph maybe you would have had one or two. Try to think of, because the men's side is developing players as
So
well.
I'm just trying to think of all the heavy hitters that were my age that played university on the Mavs team. Chris Spack played at McMaster. Jory Mantha played at McMaster. Phil Goye played at Queens. Keith played at...
Keith Yeno was a very good college player at Varsity. Was Lorty on that team, or is he a year older?
No, there was one a year older than me and then one 2 years younger than me.
Yes.
So Bruno was 2 years younger than me. He played at Laval, and Jeremy played at Laval as well.
Yep.
Who else? Phil James played at Western.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I don't know if there was any Mavericks players that Nicholas Purenat and I crossed paths for a year. So when I was in my last year, he was in his first year. I think that might be the only one.
Because as far as developing post-secondary players in both men's and women's, I think Mavericks is probably one of the better clubs in Ontario right now as far as
like across both
consistently
men.
having.
I think over the long stretch, because like they've always been filtering in good players. When you look at Pac-Man, everyone talks about Pac-Man as like the premier club in Canada. They've only really been good for 3-4 years. Like when I was playing 18U, they weren't even sniffing at the door of Premier Division 1 or whatever you want to call it.
I feel like they've been streaky. Like when they make good, they've been real good.
Yeah.
They haven't put it together as long as I'd say Mavericks. And I mean, there's other clubs who do it maybe on the women's side, like defense is really good or Halton's really good, but they haven't done it on both genders, I think, as well as the Mavericks have.
I think there might be a difference, like Ottawa versus Toronto. Like Pac-Man could pull different kids from different areas.
Yeah, there's
but
a lot more
Ottawa,
variability year to year.
There's only 2 clubs in Ottawa, Mavericks or Fusion, and a lot of the...
Yeah, if you're with one, you kind of stay with one, so...
Turf war.
Yeah.
Those stupid Ottawa Roos are out of the door, too.
Yeah.
Well, they got amalgamated with Fusion, right? Is that not what happened to Roos? You guys are too young to know what
2
Roos
years.
are.
That was
They were my favorite
played.
jerseys
Yeah.
when I was playing.
Really?
They were purple and silver.
Wow.
Oh, that's
And their logo was like a nice silhouette of
Yeah,
the kangaroo.
kangaroo.
Yeah, it was good
I'm
stuff.
dating myself a little bit here. That's okay.
Colin Walker, if you're listening, I want a jersey. I know you've got one in your basement somewhere.
Robbie
Oh,
Earl, if
okay.
you're listening, I want a jersey. No, but I think it's true. I think that what you guys talked about with like the high performance sort of model with Mavericks definitely allows them to pump out a ton of university players.
Awesome, thank you. Hopefully, friend of the show, Frank Sedini, doesn't try to cancel our podcast with all the secrets we just gathered, and we're going to spread around to other clubs. But I think when you run a coaching podcast, secrets get out, so it's fine. Right?
Yeah, I guess he's going to release all the secrets that we have too. Our infamous friend of the show, not friend of the show list.
If that, not to segue off topic here, but if our enemy of the show list gets out, I think things are going to go down now.
Yeah, there's going to be some alleyway confrontations, 100%. You know who you are.
Names will be named, I think.
Names are known.
All right, well, we're back. Good. So, what are you guys looking forward going into U of T this year? So, you're coming off a provincial championship. How many people did you graduate?
2.
2 graduated, so big core coming back. A bunch of first years coming in, is my understanding. So, tell us about U of T. What can we expect this season?
Me? Okay. Well, I don't know. I'm just super excited. It's my 5th year, so I just want to have a super fun year. I think we can definitely do really well again. We, as you said, most of our core is coming back, and then we have a lot of strong, I think, first years coming in. So I'm just excited to build off of this past year. There's 5 of us that have been around for 3 or 4 years now, and we've been to OUAs a couple times now, won a championship together, and now been to nationals. So I think being able to build off of that and then hopefully being able to do even better at the national championships would be huge and a super nice way to finish my university career.
Yeah, I think honestly, Alina came into U of T and they won a national championship. why not end it off like that? Wouldn't that be nice? Yeah, provincials was great last year, and it was my first experience at nationals. I had a really good tournament, so I'm looking forward to going back again and
we killed it.
yeah, doing the same thing.
Nationals was in beautiful Edmonton. I'll flip-flop
when we left Edmonton, I was like, maybe I'll never go to Edmonton again. Like, who knows? And then there it was, 2 months later, right back at it.
Now, does every year feel different? Because you mentioned you were on the team who won a national championship, and you've been there battling. I think you've been in Final Four every year. You've been there. So does every year feel a little bit different with people coming in or out, or is the culture at U of T pretty consistent that you can kind of expect what's going to happen?
I think there's definitely a lot of similarities year to year. Like, they kind of blur together. Like, even when you're thinking of stories, you have to be like, well, who was the 5th year back then? Like, to kind of place yourself. Because we do a lot of things the same, and we kind of try and create, like, a very similar culture every year, like, at the core of it. And, like, how we play doesn't really change a ton. We have a super strong, like, I guess, like, U of T identity. So within that, I don't think it changes too much, I feel like. But we just kind of, like, see what people we have and do the best we can with that. Trying to have fun out there.
And obviously, listeners of the show would know how strong of a career Christine Drake has had, but can you maybe speak to the energy that Vincenzo kind of brings to practice? I've never heard a bad thing about him, but he's very tough, he's very intense, where I think he compliments Christine and the rest of the coaching staff very well.
Yeah, definitely. It's nice to have that Italian style sort of brought in, very technically sound, but he also likes to crack a joke every once in a while, bring some lightness to things.
He chirps us all day.
It's good though, you need that. It's a good, like, breaks the barrier between coach and player a little bit.
It's so much fun. Or, like, he's very passionate. Like, for when Italy lost in the World Cup soccer qualifiers or something, and that day in practice, like, I've never had balls hit harder at me. Like, it was ridiculous. Like, the anger, like, it's just so funny. You never know what you're going to get, but in, like, the best possible way. So, yeah. You have to be careful with your fashion choices. He criticizes those, too, so.
I like him already.
Yeah.
I feel like we have a lot in common when it comes to the joke department.
Yeah, no. Anna Fior dyed her hair one year, like, in January, and he, like, didn't love the color. So he, like, comes up to her and goes, you know what, it's okay. Halloween is so soon. It was January.
Any other hot takes on the mat? I guess high socks, you wouldn't want to be around that, eh?
No.
I feel like your game wouldn't have worked well. Your shoe game, I think you had tights the 1 year.
I had weird stuff. I used to change shoes in between sets.
No.
Yeah, I changed shoes in between sets.
What's the purpose of that?
Superstitious. He's a little stitches.
Yeah, I'm a little stitch. Yeah, if I wasn't playing well, or, like, I was in a weird spot where at Guelph I would play left side and then the next set play libero. So I had, like, libero shoes.
Yeah, you change jerseys.
Do such a thing exist? Take a fee. Do you have libero shoes?
I think there are particular shoes that are better for, like, moving side to side than jumping, maybe. But
I had some weird choices.
I thought sadly, Fee doesn't get to play left side, so we don't know if she has the shoes.
Not a true sample size.
I wore wrestling shoes when I played libero because I thought that they were super light and they would stick to the floor really well. But I also didn't realize how expensive wrestling shoes were. So I was like, oh, this is going to be good. I'll get like a few pairs. And I saw the price tag one. I was like, okay, I'll begrudgingly get one. I don't think it made a big difference. But
you look cool.
I looked cool. I wore tights too, which now a lot of people are doing and nobody gets made fun of. When I did it, we talked about this on an earlier podcast. Someone from the crowd said, how basic are you? Basically saying, like, wear your Ugg boots. Like, why are you wearing black tights? Yeah, exactly. And I was like, I'm really comfortable, and I don't care if you don't care for my leggings. But
good. Well,
I'm not salty about it at all.
It's fine.
Maybe that's our next question. Is there a tough place to play in the OUA or OU sports that you're kind of like, wow, those guys were really vicious?
Honestly, I wouldn't say, like, no one really, like, there's some places.
I mean, when you're the best, nobody really chirps.
I don't know. So. I like when it's loud. Like, I don't really, like, notice anything else. But it's always fun to play in a loud gym, like, whether it's for you or not. Like, that just makes it more fun, I think.
Honestly, at OUA's, this past year,
Ryerson had fans.
Yeah, but also the Guelph men's team sat right at the edge of the court.
No, Waterloo men's team.
Oh, sorry.
I was almost happy there. I was almost happy that my alma was doing something right.
No, that's true.
Yeah, Waterloo men's team sat right at the edge of the court, and you were passing the left side right there. They'd be chirping right at you, or in defense,
That's true.
I'm right in
you
five.
could
they'd
they were
say
so
stuff.
close you could touch them. They were right there, so you could really hear everything.
Yeah, I can't remember where it was, but we have food on our bench, like animal crackers, dried mangoes, whatever. And so I can't remember what school, but the fans were pretty close, and they would we turned our circle so that the girls couldn't see the fans, because they'd be, hey, give me an animal cracker. What's that one, giraffe? Like they were yelling at us, pots and pans, Lakehead. The fans are closed.
I was really hungry that day.
Like, that's one I've never been to, and you wouldn't have been to as well.
Yeah.
You're not missing
That's
much.
I've never been to Lakehead. I've never been to Trent. And I've never been to Nipissing.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nipissing has a good DJ.
Yeah.
Shout out to Nipissing. What else are you going to do in Nipissing? What's the best part about the Nipissing volleyball program? The DJ.
You gotta be known for something.
Yeah.
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 I when they play music between points. That's kind of fun. We don't do
Woo,
that.
I'm having fun.
Good. So, Alina, can you share some experience from? We've talked about the new women's program and how Tom Black has changed a few things.
Mm-hmm.
You got to go to Vancouver and experience FISU training. You mentioned you were with before the show. Excuse me. You mentioned you were with the B team.
Mhm.
Can you kind of describe what's happening with our women's national team? What's happening on the West Coast? Did everybody include you? Were the vets really nice? Well, they're not even really vets anymore. They're like your age. I feel like the team's really young. So
Yeah, there are a lot more young ones than there used to be. Like my first ever year on the national team, I was like a baby, and everyone was like way older. So now it's kind of more evenly spread out, I would say. But yeah, before FISU, which was in Naples, Italy, we went to Vancouver for 2 weeks to train. So our team was half B team girls and then half just girls playing FISU. So we kind of had to be incorporated into that and learn their system. So it was very different than what I'm used to. The offense was way faster. We were swing blocking, which I haven't done. So the first day I was absolutely lost and not look like I played volleyball. But we got there, and then we were just kind of thrown into their system and kind of worked through it with them. The A team was pretty busy getting ready for a month-long trip to Peru. So they were quite busy. But we played the B team and scrimmaged with them every day and would do skills with them. So that was pretty cool to be incorporated into them, and in the weight room and stuff, we were super welcome. They had plans for us, so that was really cool. And they facilitated it really well for us. They had billet families for us all set up, so that was really nice.
nice. And how was your billet family? You obviously survived the 2 weeks.
Yes, my billet family was amazing. There was 3 little kids. They were 8, 10, and 12. They loved volleyball. We would just pepper in the backyard. It was so nice, being at home again. Didn't have to cook a single meal. The youngest one was so cute. My final dinner, she's this little 8-year-old girl. She gets up to the table at the the restaurant, Cactus Club, West Coast Classic, dings her little glass, gives a little toast to me. I was like, you are the cutest little thing I've ever seen. So yeah, I'm sad to be gone, but I've always had a home in Vancouver, I guess.
It's so smart with the billets thing. I think
Yeah.
it wouldn't work for the beach national team because one, you guys eat way too much food, and you'd bring sand into their nice house.
Yeah, I wouldn't
we would
want that. They
Well,
wouldn't
I mean,
want
I'm
that.
listening to the story and being like, wow, did I ever pick the wrong side of volleyball here? Because I would love a billet family, and I would love somebody to give me a toast.
Yeah, right?
8-year-old giving you
Yeah,
a toast.
Anybody!
Eight-year-olds.
I would love a toast!
Yeah, right? I was shocked. Anyways,
But
yeah.
I
The
think-
mom was a massage therapist. I was just well taken care of.
I haven't really had that experience before, but I'm quite jealous.
Yeah, no,
to
it
say
was
the very
amazing.
least.
Yeah, and it's fun to have volleyball families where they're so excited to ask you about your practices, and for the kids, that's what they want to do when they're older. So that's kind of a cool experience as well. So I liked that a lot.
Yeah, this beats what Autumn told us about because I think she lives with another player. I think she lives with Jesse, and China's on a houseboat. She didn't make it seem as glamorous, but why live on your own when you can live with an awesome family?
Yeah, I mean, why toast yourself when you can have other people to toast you?
I don't know. Maybe if I was there for longer, for 2 weeks, I would change my mind. But for the 2 weeks, it was perfect.
Good sample size.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. So we'll wrap this up, but you guys have been awesome on this. What we like to do at the sort of the end of the tail end of this is just talk about what do you want to say, Josh? Precarious circumstances that volleyball has put you in. So what's a good one? Becky Pavin was on here talking about how her first year of pro, she flew all the way to Germany, didn't really know who she was meeting, and just jumped in a van because somebody told her to. Other people have stuck their hands in toilets because they dropped their phone overseas.
Just like an odd situation.
Yeah, some people were put up at gunpoint.
I don't have anything like that.
What was it?
Maybe only beach players have the weird stories. Like Billy Allen's got a good one. How he slept in like a promoter's tent at a beach event. That one.
TJ had the funny one where so when TJ was on, he talked about how every time they play Iran, they always get like messages in Farsi or Arabic that like they have to translate.
Yeah.
And they directly translate into like the direct translation doesn't really work, but they're obviously not nice things being said.
Yes, yeah.
So whenever he posts a photo, I'll go to Google Translate and like say something either really nice, like TJ, you look great, and get it translated into Arabic, and then post it in Farsi or Arabic, and he'll always laugh and like it. So that's our new spiel. But like any experiences you've had playing at U of T or overseas that you're just like, wow, like I can't believe that happened.
Well, our hotel room got broken into in Italy this past when we were just there in Naples. So there was 4 of us to a room, like the 4 little single beds, like crammed in one little room for 2 weeks living in there. And we had just gotten there, so we were all super jet lagged. And Caroline Livingston, who's on the B team, was in our room. And then so apparently the 3 of us, not Caroline, were all sleep talking, and she's awake in the middle of the night, jet lag, can't sleep. 3 girls around her sleep talking, so she's like going crazy, can't be in this room. So she like goes for a walk or whatever, like doesn't even have her accreditation with her, which is like already a big thing at FISU. You can't go anywhere without your accreditation, like you'll get in trouble. Although Italy was way more relaxed than the last one. But anyway, so she like doesn't have her room key, but then this like man is like, okay, like I'll open the door for you. He has like a manual key. So he like brings her up to the room and just like walks in and starts screaming in Italian. And there's the 3 of us who just like wake up and are like, oh my God, like I have no idea what's going on. But he's like in the hallway, so we can't see him. We just like hear an Italian man yelling at us. Yeah, literally. And then Caroline, we just hear Caroline's voice going, it's okay, it's okay. And then for some reason we just trust that, and all 3 of us fall back asleep. And it's like nothing happened in the morning. We get this whole explanation from Caroline. She was wandering the halls trying to get into the room and everything, but I don't know why we just trusted her. Like, oh, it's fine. Okay, sure, I'll go back to bed now. But yeah, I don't know what he was thinking, turning on the lights, yelling. But
I guess that's what they do.
Who knows?
They don't have an inside voice, I don't think.
No, definitely
You have to handcuff them for that.
When we were in Taiwan, it was similar to like the Farsi message. We would get so many messages that we would have no idea. Like somehow all the Taiwanese found us on Instagram like very easily. And then
it's not like you guys stick out.
Yeah, not at all, right? But yeah, just like the most ridiculous messages. Like, and obviously they weren't translating properly, but just like weird stuff. So that's never a fun time.
Your dog is cow or whatever.
Yeah, your face is dog cow.
Oh, nice. Yeah. What a compliment.
No, on the beach side, we used to get these messages in like very good broken English from like Austrians or like Eastern Europeans.
Yeah.
And you'd lose my MO was you'd lose a qualifying match, and then you'd get like a message on, I was about to say MSN, on...
You've been dating yourself.
I know, big time. On Facebook, and it was like, you are terrible at siding out. Your beach volleyball is a joke. Bad. Like, just like, oh, okay, like that doesn't make sense, but that hit home. Thank you.
Thanks. It's really interesting what people think they can just send you.
Yeah. We'll have to get Melissa on. She expressed after the first time she lost on the World Tour, she got tricked by a guy who apparently bet on her in Victoria to win like a qualifier. And just got like
cost me thousands.
Yeah, got berated on Facebook by this random gambler.
Oh,
that's pretty funny.
That's good.
Anyways, the volleyball fans in the universe. They're passionate people.
They are. They definitely like success. Jumping on failure, it seems.
Well, good. We won't keep them any longer.
No, I mean, that was great. I really appreciate you guys taking the time, and good luck with your season at U of T next year.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Another good one now.
Another great one, Josh.
You guys need a handshake or something.
They can't see that, but that was a really good handshake.
Yeah, that was great. I think that's the first time I've ever touched you, Josh.
And with that, we're out of here. Bye, Mom.
Bye, Josh and Mom.
Thanks for listening, and thanks again to Sophia and Alina for joining the show. We'll have to get both of them back on during the OUA season, and we'll have to do a follow-up on Alina winning the silver medal at Beach Nationals that she won after we recorded the show. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a 5-star review, and remember, the best compliment you can give the show is by telling your friends. Stay tuned for new episodes every Friday. Stay excellent, friends.